Hey guys, it's Thankful Thursday and this is Rachel and I'm with Caroline, and this week we have chosen to answer a question by Courage for the Future 4, which asked how you deal with the guilt of asking for help when you have an eating disorder. I have thought about this quite a lot, and I have sort of got a few things in my mind about how to sort of answer this question, and I felt like maybe the easiest way was to kind of think about my own experiences and kind of try and relate that to the question. I had intervention very, very early on in my eating disorder. I was diagnosed with anorexia within about 3 months, and I had, fortunately, a very, very good GP who I felt quite safe with. And so when my parents kind of took me to the GP, I felt quite comfortable talking to my doctor, and she made the diagnosis and she got me help quite early on. It was all outpatient treatment initially. I don't remember particularly feeling reluctant about getting help. I didn't have any friends who I knew who had eating disorders. I was very isolated with it. I didn't know people who had any kind of mental health problems really. And I didn't have very much experience with therapy, and I know sort of the experience of therapy sounds a bit bizarre, but when I first went into therapy, I mean, I didn't have a clue how to be in therapy. There is a way to be in therapy, and I've kind of learned over the last kind of 9 years how to get the most from my therapy, and I wasn't kind of aware of that initially. I was very apathetic, very numb, quite cut off, quite disjointed. I found it very difficult to kind of think about other things other than issues surrounding my anorexia. And so a lot of the work I did then wasn't particularly... It was helpful in the sense that it helped me deal with my day-to-day life, but I didn't particularly feel guilty about it. I felt rubbish about it. I felt kind of bad about it. I kind of thought I was weak because I had to be in treatment, or I thought like my eating disorder was kind of like, you're so pathetic for needing help. And a lot of that was tied up in self-worth, and I guess there was guilt there, and I guess the guilt was kind of like, you know, don't take this away from me, don't take this away from me, I'm scared, I was anxious, and I genuinely thought that people would take the anorexia from me. And what I've learned, and what I'd say to you guys now, if you're early on in your treatment, nobody takes this from you. Nobody. Not a doctor, not a psychiatrist, not a therapist, not pills, not hospital, not food, not weight gain, not any of those things make this go away. You make it go away. And I think that what I would say to you now, if you're looking to look at help, is don't be afraid that you're going to lose your eating disorder, because no matter how much therapy you have, no one takes it from you. It doesn't just go away with therapy. You have to choose to take it from you, and you have to make the steps to decide to live without the illness. So if you're apprehensive about getting help because of some of those reasons, and because you're kind of scared and anxious and you don't want anyone knowing your secret and all of those things, people can only know what you tell them, and what you tell them is your choice, and that also has an effect on whether you're choosing to keep the disorder or lose the disorder. And I know it will be really difficult to go into a therapeutic setting and just let go and tell everybody everything, and it's going to take time, and there's going to be a lot of battle in your head, you know, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, you know, and back and forth. And what I think is one of the biggest issues with eating disorders is the issue around getting help, and the disorder works in a way where it encourages you in every way you possibly can not to get help. It makes you feel guilty, it makes you feel bad for getting help, because that's how the disease works. And I genuinely believe that that is one of the key attributes to having an eating disorder. It is not wanting to get help. because your disease is telling you not to get help. In the same way it's telling you not to eat, or it's telling you to eat and throw up, or whatever it is that is unique to your disorder, because yes, we can all have eating disorders, but whatever is unique to your disorder, it will work in that individual way. And so then getting help is almost like an intervention to the eating disorder, and that makes that side of you, that part of you that is struggling with the eating disorder, freak out. I mean, I tried to talk when I was in therapy, and you know, it became so clear that it wasn't working because of how emaciated I became. And you know, those fears of kind of going into hospital, or you know, inpatient care and outpatient care, were huge. They were huge, and I was so scared. I was so scared, and I used to feel so bad, but I felt bad because I felt like I didn't deserve to be getting help. I thought, oh, there's so many people out there who are so much worse off than me. And again, I think that is like, that's the disorder. That's how the disorder works. It tells you that, you know, there's people who are worse than you, and that you therefore don't deserve help. And that is, it's so tied to self-worth, and I don't know how clear I'm being here, but to me, all that guilt, all that badness, it's to do with worth, and it's basically that you don't deserve it, that you don't deserve help, and that you're weak and pathetic for asking for help. And do you know what? You're not. You are so not. You are so strong for actually saying, do you know what, this isn't working. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we use this as a way to cope. And when you're sat there and it's been 10 years down the line and your way of coping isn't working, you're just getting worse, or you're just more miserable, or you're still ill, then maybe it's time to sort of say, do you know what, I've been doing this. It doesn't matter if you've been doing it 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever it is, it isn't working because you're still ill. And it might be enabling you to live, but it's also cutting off a huge part of the life you could be living. And, you know, if you can, it's a degree of responsibility and a degree of maturity to be able to sit there and say, what has this illness given me? You know, it's not working the way I'm working. It's not, I'm still sat here with this illness, so I need to try different ways. And even if all you do is just try to do something different, one little thing. And you know what, if you feel guilty, tell that fucking voice to fuck off. And that might sound really easy, and excuse my language, but just say fuck off. Fuck off. Use your voice. You have a voice. It is in there, even if it's silence right now. You just say, fuck off, I'm going to do this, because whatever you're helping me with, whatever way you're using to deal with my issues, it isn't working. It isn't working. And, you know, coming to that place of trying to help yourself is an amazing, courageous, brave, and brilliant place to be. And you know what? You know, it's taken me a long time. It's taken me almost 10 years to realise that recovery doesn't have to just, in my case, it meant food and it meant weight gain. Yeah, it did mean that, but it also meant all the other little things that I was doing. So I was writing an email to a friend every day, just trying to share some of what I was feeling. That is progress, you know. If I get to go out with my friend one night and I just have the most brilliant night, even if the rest of the week is shit and rubbish and awful, I've had one day or one evening which, you know, is worth holding onto, and that is what you have to do. And so when you're feeling guilty about getting help, please fight it, because what you are doing is brave. And if you ever need any remembrance of that, watch this video or write to me or email me or ask me questions, and I will repeat it again, and I will say you're being stronger than your disorder by reaching out for help. And I'm going to go, guys, because my time's running out. Okay, love you loads. It's Thankful Thursday. Woo! Bye!